Okay.
Hello to everyone.
Hello.
Hello from Elena Puntaroli.
And Lorenzo Sbrinci.
We have founded a center of education, Cascades of Light, Cascate di Luce. And first of all, sorry for my voice because I've got a cold, so it's quite low today, but I hope you can hear us. And okay, thank you, no problem. And what we are about to share today comes from Education of Light, which is an innovative paradigm that we have put together for this new era that we are living, where we have condensed information that comes from quantum physics and so the power of thoughts plus the emotion and the teachings of Abraham regarding the law of attraction and Shine Your Light, which is our main teaching, I would say. So today we are here to share our vision on the importance of doing meditation and creative imagination with students and teachers. So teachers that can teach to students how to meditate, since meditation is really something that provides relaxation. So when we meditate, we are able to let go of thoughts and to really come into a place of peace, of flow, where instead of thinking, which is very important, but we talk about the thinking with creative imagination, we really allow ourselves, our true nature, our true being to come to the surface. So we really enjoy our beingness. And in this way, we allow also what we have focused with our thoughts during creative imagination to come to fruition. Because most of the time when we think something, we actually think in a resistant way, meaning that most of the time we talk about what we don't want. So we talk about what we want to fight, what we want to eliminate, what we judge, what we want to make it better. And at some level, it's not something to avoid, meaning that knowing what we want is really something that helps us to know what we want instead. So we can turn from what we don't want to what we want. So it is something that is helpful, but not, of course, if we focus on that for most of the time. This is why meditation can to play a role of soothing any resistant thoughts or stress that students and teachers can hold inside. Because meditation allows the individual to step into his own awareness, but not only an individual awareness, because when somebody is in touch with his own awareness, he gets also in touch with a global awareness, because he really touches that we are unlimited beings, so we don't really have all the boundaries that we are used to see with each other, and stepping into a global awareness allow the student to realize that he is the same as a student from the other part of the world. He is the same, the teacher as well as the teacher. A teacher in South Africa has the same feelings of a teacher that teaches in Norway. I mean, it really put down all the boundaries and differences that we use often as an excuse to be against each other instead of feeling on a joint venture with each other, with recognizing each other as global citizens, people who care for each other, who are here for a reason, to fulfill their life purpose, and to make the difference together, to shine our light, which is the sparkle that we all have inside. And the purpose of education actually is to help the person to really let the sparkle out. And it will manifest in the form of an interest, an aspiration, a passion, and eventually in the career that somebody will pursue. So this is the benefit of meditation, and this is also the reason why not only is going to be more and more implemented in the schools, but it is already implemented in most corporations, because studies show that it lowers the stress levels, and it offers better performances without stress. So when we meditate, we perform much better, and we don't have anxiety or fears inside, because we are much calmer, much more aligned to who we really are, because while we meditate, we are in touch with who we really are, which is made of joy, freedom, and love. So that's the reason why it is so very important. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you want to add something to meditation before we go to the creative imagination part.
We can go with creative imagination.
Okay, and then so creative imagination is on the other side of meditation. So we can say that they are both, that one complements the other one, because creative imagination is about active thinking. So it's about teaching to the students how they can control and direct their thoughts. It's about teaching them that they are not victims of their emotions, especially roller coasters, but that emotions always follow the thoughts that they have. So if they learn how to direct their thoughts, so directing them toward trust instead of fears, for example, they can learn that what they are going to experience as emotion is simply a reflection of their thinking, nothing more. And they can become more confident that they have the tools to manifest, so to co-create the reality that they want. So if they feel a strong passion inside, a strong interest, that aspiration is not something to not give a proper attention to from the teacher, I mean, because that strong passion is a very powerful indicator that the student has to go to follow that path. It's a strong indicator that comes from the soul, actually. So this is why it is so important that the teacher is more than a teacher, an educator. The educator, well, the Latin word education means let it out, let the what is inside, outside. And so the purpose of the educator is really to listen to the kid, to realize, to understand him or her, and to support them in pursuing their true nature. So their aspirations, passions, interests, because every every student is filled with passions. Often we hear parents that are not satisfied with their children, but that is because they don't really listen to them. They don't really listen to what is inside the child, because they probably would like their child to follow a path, but the child is not made for that path, and so the parent doesn't really see the sparkle of interest, of knowledge that is already inside of his son or daughter. So it is very important to pay attention to it, and creative imagination can really help, because especially if we start teaching to children creative imagination, they can understand that the power to create their reality is within. And so it's like telling them you can live the life that you want to live if you listen to your inner guidance. And so this is a powerful message that leads to the co-creation of the curriculum. This is how we have called the curriculum that is that comes from the students and the teachers together, because the purpose of the students is to bring out, to let out what he has inside, as in the form of interests and aspirations. And the purpose of the educator is to help the children to pursue what they have inside. So it's literally a co-creation of the curriculum, because we are not talking about imparting an education that is not suitable for somebody, because we know we are all very different, and it is very important to listen to everybody's needs and desire in order to provide a curricula that is really aligned to their passion and so to the mission that they want to accomplish in life. And of course, since it is so important to understand emotions and thinking, it is very wise to start teaching at an early age the subject like laboratory of appreciation, when we teach children how to appreciate what they have, who they are, what they have around them, because appreciation points in the direction of trust, of hope, of becoming always a better person, a better version of themselves. Teaching things like laboratory of positive aspects, because we want our children to be able to look for positive aspects when it seems that no one positive aspect is around, because this is one of the greatest skills that guarantees success. Because if somebody is not used to look for positive aspects, will go down very easily and will give up on his dreams, on his path very, very quickly. So learn looking for positive aspects is very important, because we are training the mind of the students to look where most people are not able to see. look at the hope, even though their dreams are not yet manifested, but to have a vision about them and to hold and keep and maintain this vision. And we have many other subjects that we have literally invented because I mean, there are subjects that we can add to traditional curricula to help children to understand themselves. For example, another subject is about happy relationship, follow your inspiration.
Or story of the future.
Story of the future, yeah, that's
the history of the future.
The history of the future. Because we are used to study history from the past, of course, because this is where history comes from. But according to quantum physics, if we are always focused on things that went bad, that we don't want, and we all know that history is filled with wars and, well, probably behaviors that nowadays would not be considered very, very good behaviors anymore. So looking at the history is important to have an idea of where we come from. But then what we want is not to replicate what we have lived already and what didn't work out, like most of the things that we have had in our history. But of course there are exceptions, but I'm talking about the negative things that we have in our history. But so in order to create something new, why don't we teach them how to create the history of the future? So we can still look at the history to have an idea of what we don't want, what we didn't like, and then ask our students, so if you don't like this, what would you like about this instead? So what do you want instead, if this is what you didn't like about history? So we can really co-create something totally new, and we can really support the children in developing their ability to invent, to start something, to initiate something. So not just take things for granted or facts or historical facts, but to create them from a new perspective of love, trust, and positive attitude toward humanity, because we are a global race, we are a global humanity, so we cannot think to go on without thinking that we are all one. We are one big planet. We are one big. We belong to one big citizenship. So if we instill values like confidence and love and freedom and to care for each other, we can really make the difference. And another subject could be. Do you remember the other subject?
I want to say it's important to meditation and creative imagination are like tools to go inside of us, to stay in touch, in create a connection with the.
No, it's supposed to turn off.
Videos been okay, yes.
Sorry,
okay. Sorry.
we forgot to turn on the video.
It was just a kind of a radio.
Yes, sorry.
And yes, so I was saying meditation and creative imagination are like tools to go deeper inside of us, to stay in touch, in connection with the Elena and I, we used to say the light part inside of us. a kind of like the soul of everyone can say in different way. Just because that part inside of us is always like updating the consciousness of the human race, humankind. So it's important to cultivate and not put something on top of this update, especially in little kids, in children. So just to give them an opportunity to remind, I have immediately access to this part, to the light part, the soul part, and put together as much as possible to the part, how we live. So the thoughts we have, and the emotions. So combine the role of these two parts, thoughts we have and the emotions. Combine this. Meditation is a very good way to relax the mind when, as Elena said before, when the mind start produce some thoughts that feel not very good, so it's not very useful for anyone. So to lead them directly to the creative emotions. So to have the possibility to have the full of freedom to create what we want, what we have, understand what we want. Otherwise, if you are on touch of this part, there is the possibility to miss a very important part. We can replace with thinking with something else this part, but this part knows very well who we are. So it's very important. Can give us ideas, many thoughts, very useful, and for what we want. So our purpose is to facilitate this information, to stay in touch of this part immediately when the kids are born, and obviously for adults.
Somebody asked, think for the child about our history. So the subject that we said, sorry to interrupt, we answer to this question. So so history of the future is a new possible subject. I mean, we don't have to remove history, of course, because we come from there. Yeah, we come from there. But what about a new possibility for our kids to learn that history happened, and it happened because somebody was thinking and feeling something that led to the creation, to the co-creation of the facts that are our history. So at the same time, they can learn that history is not something that happened to us, but is something that we globally, as global citizens, can make it happen. And that is the main distinction. So it's not something that happened to me, and so I have to get it however it is, but I'm not involved, I have no power of influence and so on. But what we are suggesting as a new proposal of subject is history is something that I co-create with you, with all of you, because what we think and feel now is what we are going to manifest in our future tomorrow. So it's not that it doesn't matter what we think or what we feel, because the history happens anyway. We really need to become aware that as quantum physics is teaching us, we are co-creating the history that we are living. We are co-creating the reality that we are living, and that eventually tomorrow will become the history of yesterday. So it's like to instill in the children the understanding, the deep knowing that they are here to co-create the reality that we are living. They are here to make a difference. They are not just receiving the reality that they are living without the power to influence it, because they have the most powerful tools to influence and to shape the reality that they want. They have their feelings and their thinking. And so using and mastering these tools to the best, of course they are going to create a history full of good things that happen, collaboration within schools from all over the world, people that support the project of each other, people that are really caring about what other people feel, people that are really creating something innovative in businesses or in our society to live better, to have a free lifestyle, a better lifestyle, whatever is desirable. But the point here is that we are the co-creators of our experience. And so
just an important point is just a matter of attention. According to the quantum physics and the law of the universe, law of attractions, if you give attention to something, we start to create and to vibrate in that direction. So the kind of history is like something we don't or we don't want. There are people like many things of history, also some maybe not very good situations, but probably they like, or they can think it could be an option to understand something. We can understand it just many things from the history. It's just a matter of focus, how attention we give to a situation, like a situation we live every day. How many times I stay in that I give attention to that situation. So history and is similar, because it started to be a matter of a situation, a relationship. I can develop something about this. I can upset. I can like, or I can say I don't like this. So what I like. So it's a matter of asking something, asking what I want and what I don't want. Because another important aspect about history is, for example, in the past, other generations had lived situations and in their life maybe not very good. They create, through their experiences, they create an asking for good times or for something good. And their asking is the new generations benefit from this co-creation in a sense. So you have to understand these relationships also through the history, through the generations. But through so to have the better time, the better thoughts, the better emotions, asking, I like this, or maybe I want something different. So if you have, especially some like history or experiences or examples, they are very good because can give us the opportunity to focus on something and asking if we like or if we don't like. This starts to create in a conscious way, in a clear and conscious way, what we want, and so what we want to become, and more what we create and what we live. That's why meditation and creative imagination are like as we said before, tools to do this process of creating life in a way we want. To have the opportunity to see the life, the things, also experiencing contrast, because sometimes we really don't want something, people or experiences or probably history or places. Everything is a matter of relationship. So in this way we can use these experiences, sometimes contrast experiences, sometimes better, sometimes not very good, to understand more and more clearly what we want. And underneath of this this moment, this conference about meditation, creative imagination, there is the possibility to have, as Elena said before, creating the curriculum. So the subjects we want to implemented in a school and then in the life. So trusting what we have already experienced in normal school, and trusting also the possibility to receive from the new generation the new ideas, the new purposes. So like learning from them, learning from children, listen to children and co-create a relationships with them to co-create something new. And how to do it for the adults, yes, is to remember the possibility to go inside within us, so meditation, and have the possibilities to create with the imagination. Creative imagination is a kind of a space of really, we can experience the freedom, almost totally freedom, because is a space of creation. So
infinite potential, I would say.
Yes, especially is empowered with joy, with trust, confidence, and good ideas is much better and more powerful. So they I don't know if
did you clarify the point that you have been asking? You can let us know writing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the goal of not only education, but I would say of life, is happiness. Because everybody, when we talk about what we want, whether it's pursuing a career or a study program, or whatever is our project in life, at the very core of every heart desire is happiness. We want to pursue happiness through different ways, because we are all different, though we are very similar at the core of our values and in the way we experience emotions. So is looking at what we are living and asking to ourselves, is there enough happiness in my life? And if there isn't, what could I do? What do I want? I want more happiness. So start going in that direction. Of course, it's a practice, it's a path, and we don't expect to cover all this in 1 hour, because we wrote a book, Education of Light, a creative vision for a school based on heart desire, and it's going to be published in February next year in Italian. So of course it's very complex. It's very not complex, but it's very rich, because there are so many aspects to explain and to go through, that we are trying to do a summary of this vision of this book, of course, here. And so the main goal is happiness. So we can, as a teachers, we can ask to our students, are you happy? And if you are not, it's our job to show them the way. Because it's not about study something and then get a job, because that is not enough. We are human beings, and we are here to feel fulfillment, not only happiness, but fulfillment. We are here to feel that we are doing something meaningful, that we are contributing to the life of others, especially as a teacher. This is the bottom line for everybody. And so we can show this interest, this thing, by really putting our heart in listening to the students' desires. Is this path that they really want to take? Is this path where they're really shining their talents? And if not, what they're really good at? Because it's quite easy to identify the talents of a student, because you just have to look at him or her and see where he when he has the sparkle in his eyes. So that is what is most important to him, for example. So if studying a subject he's bored and he doesn't get anywhere, of course it's not his strength, it's not his passion. So he's not really going to get that teaching. Quantum physics, again, teach this very beautifully, saying that if there is no focus, there is no creation of any reality, meaning that our reality would not exist if we would not focus it. So, in other words, if a student has no focus for a subject because it's not his big interest, if he has no focus, he cannot really take the subject in. It's like trying to force something into something else, but of course it doesn't work, and so he's going to forget what he's learning very soon. So what's the point? The point is really supporting the student's interest and aspiration, because when and where he has his sparkle in his eyes is where he's going to make the most, is where he's going to succeed. So as educators, we really want to support this, because we want happiness for our students. We want they pursue a career of happiness, a life of happiness.
Yes, as adults, we can maybe sometimes say or think this is good because we know maybe in the future, but the young generation, they have more ideas than what we have. So we can't imagine what it is possible to create. Sometimes we have, if you see so, we can have new ideas, and it's very a matter of evolution. So we can develop something very new, is like unexpected something, and it's very beautiful. It's good. It's beautiful. Also, is like again the spark of life. We used to say, "Cascades of light, shine your light," because for us, everyone has a light.
And when you shine that light, actually, it means that you express yourself. So what most beautiful thing can happen to a human than expressing him or herself?
So we have to facilitate this possibility through in many ways. So obviously schools or are the journeys or paths where it's possible to have access to. Also, is remember something that is inside within us. So starting this process, it becomes more easily when we do this, because just like when we used to do something like bike or skiing, we don't do for a long time, and when we come back to do this, maybe I know this. I used to do this. So it's kind of, because it's just like it's not just the beginning, but this age, as Elena said before, this particular age of light, because the conscious are
the awareness arising in all human beings in these days.
We can hear in many places, many times, say about consciousness creating thoughts, creating reality. So there is around us this concept, and is more accessible in a way, in many levels, to everyone.
So what we are really doing here is to put this concept of awareness, of co-creation, of the discoveries of quantum physics that apply to thoughts and emotions into an educational setting, because it gets more exciting, actually, because we don't think that education is a passive thing. Education is an active thing. So in order for education to become active, it has to be co-created from both parties, meaning the teacher and the student. So when the students and the teacher brainstorm their ideas, their desires, their needs, whatever they have inside, they are really going to make something wonderful, something that has not been before, something totally new, a new way of educating and learning, because the teacher would not expect to go there and just to teach what she knows or he knows, and the student takes the learning in and that's it. No, that is the basis, but we can build so much upon this, because we also talk about active laboratories where the knowledge becomes active, because it comes out from the books, and we can do role playing with the knowledge, we can color the knowledge, we can dance the knowledge, we can give images to the knowledge, we can give voice to the knowledge. So we can really learn new creative ways to learn, to understand, to invent the history of the future. And that really involves our whole body, our whole being, because it's not just cramming the more information that I can in my mind, but it's really about elaborating this information. How this knowledge makes me feel? What can I add to this knowledge? We have actually, we have, it's all written in our book, but unfortunately it's not published yet, and it will be published in Italian. Otherwise, what we have in English actually is Palloncino, and you can talk about.
Yes, you have the links to share the examples. I don't know if
you can put okay, Lorenzo is writing the link of Palloncino, which is our main character of a children's book series, and The Arrival of Palloncino is the first book of the series published in English from Mikazuki Publishing House, and it offers, well, this is the, why don't you put the books?
Because you can reach on the website. I don't know the exact links, Elena.
Yeah, you can check the.
Okay.
One more, because this is our website, but I want to put the exact English link for the books, so you can see the book there. And Palloncino. So the first book is The Arrival of Palloncino, and is designed for children up to 10 years old, even though we believe that it can be also for later years, and especially for parents and teachers, because it's a nice exemplification of what we are talking about here, because especially our first book talks about the desire, so how a desire comes out. The desire comes always from, the heart desire that we are talking about, they are always coming from a state of joy. We are not talking about any other kind of desire than the heart desire. And so the parents of Palloncino, they have this beautiful desire of having Palloncino as a child, and they go to the sun and ask for this desire. And this is a of course, this whole book, and then they receive their desire. This whole book is a metaphor of the famous principle, ask and it is given, which we have applied in the educational field through the co-creation of the curricula. Because when you ask, it is always given. And of course, we have to learn and we have to teach to our students how to apply, to really live fully these principles.
Yes, also, first of all, how to ask. It is possible, and what we came about with the asking. So Palloncino is obviously the first, only at the moment, the first book for children in English. It's the first episode of a series. So probably in the next few.
We have also the second one. Actually.
Also the second, in the page of our website.
You can find both of them in this link that you wrote.
So in Palloncino there are the messages. Palloncino contains messages to remind the principles of how to create the life. But also, before to create the life, you have to understand how to stay in touch, as we said in the in the first part of this conference, how to stay in touch, how to connect to the soul part, to the inner part of us, and then understand how to create a good dialogue within us to understand what we want to experience, or how to understand the experience we made, or we want to live. So this is a Palloncino book for children, also for adults to interact with these messages, and probably maybe in the future we can translate education of light also in English or in other languages.
Yeah, of course, the vision will be then start training teachers with this new vision, because of course we realize that it's very new, it's very original as well, because in most schools teachers don't teach about relationships or the relationship that we have with the sparkle inside, and how we can co-create our reality, and how to to ask for our desires, and how to live from a state of trust and infinite possibilities. So we understand that the world goes in that there is a part of the world that goes in the very opposite direction of what we are saying here. But there are so many people that work to create a new world where we can really be an example of trust, of love, where we can really live our passion with freedom, and do this the main teaching for our children.
Just a matter of evolution. This information more available than before, so it's good to deal with this, to use these ones, and so it's very good because we have more information, kind of more possibilities for ourselves. And we are going to the end of this conference, so if you
do you have other questions?
If you have some questions, you can
or
close to us.
Something that you want to write, or let us know. Yeah, we are here.
Yeah, and so the title of the session was how meditation and creative imagination can prepare global. Yes, thanks for the information and this resource.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Patti.
Thank you
to you. And it's a real pleasure talking about this, and have a dialogue and conference with people to develop, to build this new idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
To you.
Thank you very much, Eleanor and Mr. Lorenzo. Anyone has any questions, please, because since we are towards the another seven more minutes left towards the end of the session. So, anyone has any questions, anything, you could just bring them up. Thank you.
And
I don't know if we have to close maybe we have to close.
Maybe we have to close. Baruch, Ali?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. If anyone has any questions, I can go ahead and see the questions, or else close the session if that's it.
Okay, we are doing the closing now.
Yeah, we're doing the closing. Yeah.
I think we have touched the main point, how meditation and creative imagination give the skills to teachers and students to really become global citizens and global human beings, I would say, and the co-creation of the curriculum from the principle ask and it is given, and a few examples of new possible subjects like the history of the future. We didn't mention the laboratory of solutions, but it is one of my favorite, and just in a few words, we are so much used to focus on problems and how to resolve problems, but we have to remind that we cannot solve any problems if we stay at the same level of the problem. So we need to shift and to go on the solutions. So the laboratory of the solutions help children to stay focused on new possibilities, on new ways of developing everything. So it's a great way to empower them so that they don't feel that they have problems in their life and they don't know how to resolve them. And also because I think that most people that feel sad, that feel depressed or very, very low energy is because they just lack this kind of education. Because if we can really educate our children that they have all the power within to live a happy life and to transform any obstacle in resource and possibility, we would know sadness. I mean, though it's also important, sadness, because as we said during the conference, we live in a world of contrast, and we need to know what we don't want to understand what we want. So we need to understand and to pass through sadness to understand happiness. So it's fine. So thank you all for being with us, and
thank you very much. It has been a pleasure. We are very pleasure.
A great pleasure for us, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Khalid. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Elena and Mr. Lorenzo. Thank you. Goodbye. It was a nice time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay, all right. Goodbye.